right. Welcome to Mom and Pop Video Shop and specifically to, I guess we could say this is part two of our interview with filmmaker Anthony Moran. And, Anthony, I didn't ask you the last name. Do you like going by Tony or Anthony?
Tone or Tony?
Okay, Tony. Okay. Yeah, because now my dad's middle name was Anthony. And Tyson, who's normally on with me, his actually his I think it's his real first name because I think Tyson's his middle name. His first name is Anthony.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so I got a lot of Anthony's up in here. So yeah, so Tony, Tony Moran, filmmaker Tony Moran. And of course you were on before. We talked about your other films, Strong Arm and Let Us In. We could start off by just kind of segue because last time Mother Nature had other plans. So I don't know if people remember. This is actually the first time any of our viewers are seeing your face because last time you were in a ski mask, which one person left a comment saying they thought that maybe we had some sort of criminal element on, which I'm assuming they were joking.
There's a criminal element. It
Well,
doesn't matter.
I was like, man, he was in like -6 degree weather in a basement. He can wear a ski mask. Plus, I thought it was hilarious, so I was totally cool with it. But yeah, so first off, thank you for coming back. I'm very happy we could get you back for part two here because last time, again, we talked about Strong Arm quite a bit, and we got to touch on Let Us In, which is your most recent film that you finished. And you're also working on something that will be the main focus of this interview because I wanted to originally the whole point was to have you on to talk about Evil 1%, but we ended up talking about the other stuff more. So before we do though, so Let Us In, just give people an overview because I know Evil 1% will tie into Let Us In. So just as a refresher, for those that are new to the world of Tony Moran and his films, let everybody know what is Let Us In all about.
Okay, so Let Us In was Detroit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and the whole crew and cast they're from Detroit, Michigan, and we shot my second feature-length film, which is called Let Us In, and it's like a Detroit zombie biker film, and it's all practical effects driven. And we shot it on 4K, and we never planned it on. We never planned on doing. At least I never didn't. We never planned on like a franchise type thing, and the movie just really took off like organically by word of mouth. It took off on VHS. We've sold it all over the world, like astonishing numbers. Like it's just wild. I actually just shout out to Nate Woodcoff. He just We just sold the Blu-ray rights for Let Us In the other day for the festival rights. But so he's putting together a really cool Let Us In Blu-ray, and that's going to be out in August. But anyways, Let Us In is about these bikers. It's Let Us In takes place during kind of like a COVID type time
Mm-hmm.
frame, and these people break down, and then there's another story going on with that. And it's where these bikers get ripped off and they're looking for their drugs and other things. And so the bikers are like the last people left in this government shut down town with these hitchhikers. And so Evil 1%, aka Let Us Out, is the sequel to Let Us In. So
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I don't know why I don't think it's even hit me last time, but it kind of reminds me of the bikers in Ramiro's Dawn of the Dead. Like,
dude, it's so
that.
crazy. Can I just touch on that? I wanted to
Yeah.
say something
Yeah.
on that. This is awesome. I highly recommend anybody who hasn't seen this. If you have a smart TV or something like that, or just an iPad or your phone, go onto YouTube and type in whatever one's on YouTube, man. They got that cut. Type in Argento's cut of Dawn of the Dead.
Hmm.
And have you ever seen it?
I have the remember the DVD that I think it was Anchor Bay put out years ago, the
Yeah.
Ultimate Collector with all the versions. Yeah, I got that one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I now don't quote me on this, but I
Hmm.
have that, and I've never seen like a bunch of the stuff that was in the one that's on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a bunch of scenes of the biker scenes that were in the mall, but it was a lot. There were like all the extras that the regular audience has never seen, and
Yep.
yeah, I really dug that, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because I was watching that before, when we were in pre-production. And the
Yeah.
big influences for Let Us In and Evil 1% um, are obviously the classic biker films. These are the biker films that I based it off of and that I like. I love Satan Sadists,
Mm.
Werewolves on Wheels, and Hell's Angels 69. And then I like how Midnight Magazine, the way they worded the movie, they go, Let Us In is like Night of Living Dead meets Last House on the Left, but the bad guys are bikers. I like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I like
cool.
that. But I just didn't want to do a traditional biker film. So anybody out there, it's got bikes, it's got a badass biker gang, but I wanted to give it something different. You know what I mean? Instead
Mhm.
of a traditional biker film.
Yeah, no, and I really enjoyed it. We went over this last time, I know, but I like both your films quite a bit. So, and I have both of my VHS copies representing on my face out on the shelf. They are there. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think I mentioned this last time. I have to mention again. What I loved is the fact that you got these old clamshells and that's what you use, because it feels like something that has been out on a video store shelf. Oh yeah.
Don't tell everybody.
I
I'm
won't tell
just
everybody.
kidding.
That's true. No, you're fair enough.
No, I
I
encourage everybody to do that for one reason. I just want to say this. Shout out to Rebecca Solano from Independent American Pictures, my partner. But I wanted to say, like, I like that you like those cases, but here's what's cool. We don't use any beat up cases. They're like dead stock ones,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
we
yeah.
also use sealed dead stock blanks. I mean, they don't have to be sealed, but here's the point in this. We're about to drop our, we'll get to that later, but we're about to drop our Evil 1% Indiegogo. And I was talking to Rebecca and like I was looking at a couple, not to name names, but you know that movie where they use some of the Friday the 13th people and it's like a Friday the 13th fan film. And they
Yes,
got that
yes.
Tommy Jarvis one. Well, I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
looking
Never.
at their
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
perks.
yeah.
I was looking at their perks, and they had like, get a pen or a coffee cup and your name in the thing or a water bottle. My thing was like, I really like, other than shirts, I really want things that you can recycle. Do you know what I mean? And I like
Hmm.
taking other things. So the cases were a big recycle thing too.
Hmm.
You know,
Well,
so I'm glad that we could do that.
yeah. Well, what's cool is it fits the aesthetic of the whole thing. So it's like it's more than just the movie. It's the experience of getting this clamshell, and I just make sure I'm clear on that. They're not like banged up or look like they got run over by a truck or anything, but they're gently used, and so
They're
they
yeah,
feel
they're exactly from the 80s. You know what I
yeah, and
mean?
it
Like
feels authentic. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
here
Which but
we'll take it out here, like just to show these kids and everybody.
yeah,
Any kid in Florida wants to do their own movie. I've upgraded my paper since this model, but yeah, man, look at this is a
it's a
mint
good
one
old
right
fashioned
here,
clamshell. Yeah,
and then I make sure that they're just tight.
yeah, yeah. I just thought it was cool. It was a nice
Thanks,
surprise. Yeah,
man.
man. Yeah,
Thanks, because
yeah.
I'm making my stuff for cool people like you, man.
Well, I appreciate it. I will not argue with you. I do not think I am cool, but if someone like you says I'm cool, I'll go with it.
You're
So,
cool.
so even 1%. I don't know. Now, obviously, this is your newest project. It is a continuation from Let Us In. Are you calling it like is it a direct sequel or is it just in the world of Let Us In?
It is a direct sequel. The only difference about it is it's got a 70s vibe. So in the beginning, it kind of loosely explains what happened in the beginning of the or at the end of the last one.
Hmm.
And it kind of explains that, and then it goes right into a new chapter, and with a lot of the old characters from the first movie where they left off, they're in this movie, and then some of the characters, like the Afro biker,
Hmm.
he is in it as the Afro biker. I can't give away that part, but he also plays midway through at the bikers. The big, not to jump around, but here's what I'm getting at. The second act is like the big act in the movie. It's a LSD love-in slash Hayden that
Hmm.
happened here in like 67 or 68. I'm just a little off today. I didn't go to sleep last night. And it was here um at Belle Isle, and the MC5 played it, and it was a big deal because the outlaw biker clubs were there, and they already had this was 67, excuse me. So this was the Summer of Love. So they had the Summer of Love in California, but they always say that it skipped over Detroit because when it came here to Detroit in 67, the MC5 played and a bunch of the it wasn't the Outlaws, I forget which motorcycle club was there. But either way, it turned in the cops came there and started playing polo on horses with people's head, and it was really violent. None of that is in our movie. But what I did is like you said about the VHS, you like the aesthetic. Well, what I did was instead of taking, I kind of did like they did in Army Darkness when they take Bruce Campbell back to medieval times. What
Sure.
I wanted to do and what we're doing, we're filming in June, and then the movie's going to be done the first week of August, and I'm going to edit it, and it will be in theaters in October. But what I was going to say is this installment of the franchise, and I feel crazy saying franchise because it's not like some big, Evil Dead thing. But
Mm.
what happens is I took the characters right in the beginning. It kind of touches on the last movie. And then it goes into a new chapter and it's like a whole 70s vibe. And the second act is the bikers are getting acid from these Black Panthers. There's no racism thing. The bikers and the Black Panthers are in on it together. And they
Mhm.
have this big love-in LSD party that is based off the one that happened in Detroit with the MC5. And that's when you see a lot of the same characters from the first film and stuff like that. And then it gets overrun by zombies. So there's really cool, it's really cool the way, you know what kind of vibe I can describe it to, and I love. It's like I have to say that my most favorite thing about being a filmmaker is putting in things from horror movies or any movies that I love, and
Mhm.
putting like something that I loved in that movie into my movie. So like the movie has a lot of Return of Living Dead 2 vibes. The third act, you know how most biker movies are open road movies. I wanted to go completely against that. So the third act takes place, it's real claustrophobic and takes place in a cabin similar to Evil Dead. But just to
Mhm.
go back real quick, I just wanted to say that yeah, it's a real it's kind of like the Wanderers. So yeah, these bikers and there's a character, the chainsaw biker in the Let Us In.
Yep.
He plays
Yep.
John Sinclair in this one, the manager of the MC5. And so they're at the bikers clubhouse, and like the MC5 are supposed to play. John Sinclair's there. All these Black Panthers show up, and then when they're kind of waiting for the band and stuff like that, they're going through the back door. Some people are coming through the front, and it's kind of like The Wanderers. Have you ever seen the movie The Wanderers?
I've heard of it. I have not seen it.
Oh my God, you got to go see
I
it.
I
There,
I will add it to my list.
Ken Forey.
Oh, is
That
he?
was
Okay.
you can't notice him in it, but that's his first film. But yeah,
Okay.
there's a big scene in the middle of The Wanderers, which is the biggest scene in the movie, the big fight. And they're playing football and they keep walking to each other. And they're like, yeah, man, you go get the ball over there. There's a big dude with a big knife over there. And the guy's like, man, everybody's spooked today, man. What the F? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what kind of happens. And so yeah, it is all the characters are the same from the first one and they evolve and everything, but it has a more 70s look, aesthetic, custom culture. Like I don't want to give it away, but like the opening scene, a kid gets killed on an old 70s Schwinn Stingray bicycle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 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 Now, are you shooting it the same way you shot Let Us In? Are you shooting it with the same type of gear, or
Even
are you?
better, baby.
What do you shoot? What are you shooting?
Okay, so on the last one, I used all good, really good, Hollywood lights, and I own all that stuff. And Let Us In was shot on 4K, and we
Mhm.
used two Black Magics. But we upped the game on this one. We have a DP named Cody McAfee, and he came to meet me at VHS Fest 7 this past summer because he had seen Let Us In and didn't know who I was, and he picked up the VHS, and he liked it so much he met me there to offer his services to do the movie, and we've been inseparable since. But either way, we're shooting on a brand new Sony 4K and a brand new Red 4K, and then we got two Black Magics, and then we got all the same lenses too and
Nice.
stuff.
Now, what about, because I know you're a big practical effects guy. I know you love using practical effects. So, are you going to use the same people that worked with you from the previous film?
Yeah, James Bell's doing all the practical effects.
Cool. 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 So I guess you have like, I mean, I know you're obviously not going to go into what you're doing, but
Yeah, I
we don't
will.
want
Yeah, I
to.
will.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
will. Yeah, I will. Let me go back to the dirting thing. I lost my thought, and it will
no, it's
go
okay.
into what you were just saying. So, Strong Arm, because it was my first film, and I kind of wanted that grindhouse. I don't even want to use that word grindhouse because just when you put scratches on your film doesn't make it grindhouse.
Correct.
And I'm not dissing any of that stuff. I like Death Proof and all that. There's a lot of people like that don't, but there's a lot of people that do. I'm a big fan of just like, do what you want to do, and if you
Yeah.
can translate your art and it gets to the people and gets the good reaction or whatever, that's an accomplishment in itself. But anyway, so dig this. So I stay and edit every film. I mean, I don't leave. I'm there for every second. You know what I mean? And so I won't work with the cinematographer, or anybody, and unless I'm there editing it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So for Strong Arm, I was there editing it with Steve. He lived an hour away, and it was a real damper going up in there and editing. But we put scratches in there. But then after that movie, I don't know why, man. I was just like, I want things to really, really look fucking good. I always wanted that. But I kind
Mhm.
of like tried to mask, even though we had a good, 1080 camera.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
so what happened was for Let Us In, I was like, yo, I'm going 4K. Jim Van Bever got a hold of me. I don't care about talking about this live. So me and him have been friends. And over the last 4 or 5 years, we've gotten to be a lot better friends. And he's a mentor. And he was trying to get Day of the Deadbeat, the sequel to Deadbeat at Dawn, off the ground.
Mhm.
And it wasn't too successful, like the way he was going about it or whatever, through Indiegogo. He asked me, he's a huge fan of Let Us In. He's a fan of Strong Arm, which I can't believe. But he goes, Tony, he goes, man, the way the apocalyptic look and the whole look of Let Us In, he was like, it looks so dirty and so believable and real. He goes, I have a plot. He goes, I got the same 16 millimeter camera I shot Deadbeat at Dawn on. That's what he told me. But
Ah,
he goes,
cool.
he goes, yo, man. He goes, would you be interested? And I thought it was a good plot. So we're seeing if we can work it out. So
Yeah.
what I'm getting at is if you have something in your head and you're using, you know, for whatever that project is, if it's a Western or whatever, like an Evil 1%, like I was going on podcast after podcast, and I was asking a lot of the fans, what do you want to see in this next movie besides a lot of killing? And they were
Mhm.
like, oh, we want to see more bikes. We want to see cool cars. So I'm
Mhm.
using a lot of vintage trucks in Evil 1%, like
That's
old
cool.
75, 77, 75 and a 77 Ford truck. I got like a 62 Dodge, just a bunch of old vintage cars and
Cool.
bicycles. And it's going to have that look.
That's
Aesthetics
very, very cool.
everything, man. Aesthetics
Yeah.
everything.
Well, and I think that what is cool, and I think what sets your stuff apart from a lot of indie movies that I've seen as that are more recent is that biker aesthetic to me. It feels very authentic to you, and I already told you this in the last interview, but your whole attitude about where you're from and how that regional filmmaking spirit. I love.
Thank
Like
you.
I love that idea of people staying in their area and just supporting their own community, their filmmaking community to make cool stuff that is represents their area. I mean, I just think it's cool. I really appreciate that. I have I don't know if you ever read it. I wish I had it. I don't think I have it to where I could read the title, but there's a book about regional filmmaking that came out several years back that I absolutely love that gets into, just different areas and films that, you know, were made a lot of times for next to no money, but they were very much indicative of the place in which they were made. And I don't know. I think
I
it's
like the
cool.
way no, I was right with you. I like the
Yeah.
way you said that they were very indicative of the place that they were made. And
Yeah.
like, oh, I could give so many films analogies with films like that. I can name a bunch of films that were very indicative of the place. Films like films like Two Lane Blacktop, the way they
Mhm.
captured the drag racing there and Route
Mhm.
66, but more so even other films. You know what I mean? I could just go on and on, but
Mhm.
we're here to talk about independent American
Yeah, yeah,
picture.
yeah. Yeah, the
No, no,
American,
no,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
love
yeah.
talking about that stuff. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, yeah. But I also, and I hear this is important. So when are you shooting? Like, when are you guys going to start shooting Evil 1%?
Okay, so here's the deal, and I encourage everybody here, if you want to find out how to donate, you can get a hold of me. My
Mhm.
name is Anthony E. Moran, Moran, and you can get a hold of me at independentamericanpictures@gmail.com. It's independent American Pictures at gmail.com. You can also get a hold of me at independentamericanpictures at gmail. You can get a hold of me at Anthony Moran at Facebook, Anthony
Mhm.
E. Moran, Moran. So the reason why I said that is that we are about to launch the Indiegogo, like literally any day. I don't want to say if it's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or tomorrow. It might even be tomorrow. But something came up to where I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, but it could be tomorrow night. So it's going to be this week or by Monday.
Okay.
And we are shooting Evil 1% no matter what, but we need your help. You know what I mean? So I was gonna say, like, we have a bunch of really cool perks, and we are shooting the movie first and last week of June and the first week of August. And it's crazy because usually the hard part is getting everybody's schedules together. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
You know, you'll ask these 4 actors, they'll be fine, and then you ask the cinematographer, and he'll be like, "Dude, I can't do that." It was
Yeah.
crazy. Drew Marvick from Vegas, our star that's playing next to me, he you know, no problem getting there. You know what I mean? He was open. Everybody, the DP from New York, everybody. So the scheduling has been going great. So we are filming in June, and right now, I mean, I didn't even sleep last night. That's just my lifestyle. I'm just constantly working. But yeah, so we're really, really busy right now. You know, it's just crazy. We're duct taping people, you know, putting cellophane on people, duct taping them, and then cutting the back. And then
Mhm.
then we're filling it with blood bags, you know what I mean? Then
Yeah.
putting hands and things on there because I want a lot of the zombies to get hit by trucks when the bikers are pulling them.
Oh, okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm designing each of these vests. My life partner and Rebecca Solano, she and I go through these vests and we
Mhm.
put this one didn't make the cut in Evil 1%, but we put certain patches on there, let it be you know, a 13 on the side. Let me get it right here. Let me see there. Like a
Yeah, I got.
13.
Yeah.
You know, this is probably the weakest one. But anyways, yeah, so we're making the vest now as we speak. We make the patches. I have a lady in California that I just met on eBay a couple years ago, and I'll take like old filthy few patches. And you touched on something. You said that it feels so real, the bikers thing, and with me in the movie and stuff like that. I was gonna say I grew up around the culture. I've been riding my whole life. I got a motorcycle when I was 4 years old, and I've had it my whole life and muscle cars. And my dad is in I can't name the name here on the internet. My
Mhm.
dad is in the biggest outlaw motorcycle club, the oldest, biggest one in Michigan. You know, I know the culture really well, and he's really into the '60s stuff. And shout out to my dad. He really, I mean, what's cool is like my mom was 17 when she had me, and my dad was 19. And so, oh my God, we were the first to get a VHS player, like I said on the last show. And so,
Mhm.
my dad, I can remember like yesterday, he'd be like, "Man, you ever look at, we got to watch this Toxic Avenger." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Or he'd be taping stuff and putting it together like the bullet chase scene, and then he put a scene from Bruce Lee's like Enter the Dragon, you know, like the
That's cool.
bolo scene, and then he'd be
Yeah.
like, "Watch this." So
That's very
actually,
cool.
VHS right there, strong arm gold
Yep.
one.
That's
Anybody's
very cool.
listening, you can contact me and buy any of this stuff.
I know you've got your obviously your movie stuff. You've got your collectible type stuff. So where could people get that from?
People can find me. You know what's crazy, man, is I sell direct. And so you can get me at IAP Instagram. You can also go to independent. This is what sucks. This part is that I had to change for legal reasons. I had no choice. I had an Independent American Pictures eBay that I started last year, and I'm not trying to brag, but just over summer we had 270 sales, which is like ridiculous. That was just VHS. I
Mhm.
mean, it's not that much, but it's 270 tapes in just 3 months. Well,
Mhm.
right after summer, I had to, with the LLC, I had to start Independent American Pictures Detroit. And I'm selling tapes on there. And I've sold more than two because I sell tapes all day long. I'm shipping shit all night, all day. Like I'm up all night packing. I'm usually just getting cold calls. But what I was going to say is people can go. I have a lot of the merch. Like it looks really good too. You can go on eBay and you got to type in Independent American Pictures Detroit. But if
Got
you
it.
don't want those fees, you can get a hold of me. And
Mhm.
then, what was I going to say? I'm going to start a big cartel store soon.
Cool.
It sounds kind of unprofessional, but here's the deal. I literally, I would love to say the amount and the amount of money that it was because it would really show if you put your mind to something and like if it's organic, how big it could be. So what I was gonna say is like literally I haven't had time to even do a big cartel. I know someone's out laughing out there, but no joke, you know, it's just me and then, you know, Rebecca. And yeah, you know, we're just like a two-person army. We got people on our team. I got a guy on the payroll that, you know, does my tech stuff and everything. But what I'm getting at is that the movie hasn't even streamed yet. You
Mhm.
know, that will tell
Mhm.
you, you know, so and that's not because we're running behind. We have been offered deals and everything. We just had to go with the proper one, but we had sold that much and it hasn't even streamed yet. So we have gotten all that just cold calls through my Facebook, IG, and then that old eBay, you know. And one thing about eBay, and I shouldn't give people my sauce, but somebody gave it to me. But my special effects guy, and if he hears this, he'll probably be so mad. But he goes, put a store on eBay just because he goes, there's horror people there that just don't,
Mhm.
they're only on eBay and they just buy like these lower budget horror movies, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
And there's just a crowd. And so what was cool is that he was right. We were selling nonstop, you know what I mean?
That's
And
awesome. And you can I be honest with you? And again, that's just me. I think there's something super cool about the idea of somebody releasing their movie today on VHS and selling it in the like what's the equivalent, the digital equivalent of out of like a trunk in their car. You know what I mean? Like, there's something about that like punk rock just down in, you know what I mean? Like, so
dude, it's
you know what? Maybe it is because I'm so not that guy, but
no,
I
wait,
love
yes,
it.
wait,
I
no.
love it.
Oh, I'm so glad you love it. So I always say no, and I mean yes. Geez, that's a quick.
I know what you mean. I know what
I
you
think
mean.
I think sometimes like my what Rebecca does that. I don't even understand.
Yeah.
Be like, do you
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
tacos right now? She'll be like, no, but it's like yes. Um, so we just had some tacos. But check this out, man. So like people are listening. They're probably like, oh, this guy's full of shit. What do you mean he doesn't have a big cartel or website? Oh, and by the way, we did have strongarmmovie.com. The reason why I took that down is when we started Strongarm, it was strongarmmovie.com. Then when Let Us In was about to come out, we had some stuff on there and we were selling it, but it's too confusing. So I just want to
Yeah.
I don't want to name the name of the website because someone will take it, but you can dig it. But what I was going to say is, so dig this. So not only have I'll just say the number, I don't even care. I've shipped out in 10 months over $25,000 of VHS and Let Us In.
Nice, dude.
And
That's
like if you
awesome.
just like it ain't even about that amount of money. It's if you just took 20 times and divided that, like how many people is that? And
Yeah.
so we mailed all those just ourselves. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And that isn't even including the strong arm sales. So like that movie made strong arm way bigger. Do you know what I mean? Because strong
Yes.
arm happened right when COVID came out. It didn't go into one fest or anything. Just played at Cinema Wasteland. And I couldn't even be there because I was filming Let Us In. So my life is just work constantly. But what I was gonna say is inconsistency is the key if anybody ever wants to know. Somebody will always come out there and take your place. Somebody always wants what you have. I'm not a singular person. I always think outside the box. I'm not trying to get what someone else has. I want what I want. Some people are
Mhm.
pleasure driven. I'm purpose driven. But I will
Mhm.
say this much. We sold that much on cold calls. And
Mm.
then we do have full page ads and even 1% or in like Grindhouse Resurrection. Shout out to 42nd Street Pete. Everybody can go order this new issue. This just dropped this month, just dropped a couple days ago. Gary Kent banned and Amazon, and then check it out. Inside cover, full page,
Nice.
evil 1%.
Yeah. Very cool.
So what I was gonna say is, so I sold all that on cold calls. Shall I say we sold all that on cold calls? And then we only did the showings, and then like we only did a couple cons, and I don't even want to call them cons because they weren't like traditional ones. We did VHS Fest, we did do a con and one film festival. But when I was at VHS Fest, I drove like 10-12 hours to get out there. It was just like a factory selling them. I'm saying like literally, I didn't go to the bathroom, I didn't pee all day. You don't take a piss all day. And people were just what I'm getting at is people had your attitude. Yes, it was a VHS event, but people were just like, you came all the way out here from Detroit, you got a cool
Yeah.
cover like this, then they
Yes.
look at the tapes, they look at the aesthetic. Also, I want to show, I don't have it on this one. I like the little chrome stickers. I usually have
Yes.
those inside.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
got your VHS one.
Yes.
So anyways, other people feel like you do. And I feel like, just to talk a little bit about some forward thinking stuff. I believe, not believe, I know. Have you heard of like these culture bars that are opening up? These little PDX movie theaters,
Yeah.
and they'll have like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
and you can
I've
you
heard
can
of it. Yeah.
go, yeah, you can go there and rent a movie or see a movie, or
Hmm.
like J.R. Bookwalter's movie
Hmm.
Side Effects May Vary. Do you know what I'm talking about? You
Yes.
see
Yes.
how he
Yes.
used Bruce Longo, my friend. I booked his screening of Corpse for Christmas. Shout out to Bruce Longo from Bloodsick Productions. That's my brother. He's from Philadelphia. Shout out to all the Philly cats. But Bruce's new film is Coven of the Black Cube. But he did this movie called Corpse for Christmas, and he used some of James Bell's effects. He used Shagrat, my artist. But I got him a screening at Joe Strawberg's Analog Theater in Chicago. But this is what I'm getting at. When I went to VHS Fest, he got me on VHS Fest. So when we were there, he was doing Christmas in July, a tour with this film. And I really like how J.R. Bookwalter looked at that and then just basically for side effects may vary, like hit all those same places. Dig what I'm saying?
Yes. And
Yeah, and I
I
like
met
it when
I
people
actually
are doing it.
I met Bookwalter for the because growing up, like his of all of his movies, dude, Ozone. I freaking love Ozone. Did you ever see Ozone? You remember that one? Yeah, I love that movie so much.
So
Um,
good.
and I
Robot
remember.
Ninja too,
Oh yeah, Robot Ninja,
but
Dead
Dead
Next Door,
Next
all of it.
Door
Dead Next
too.
Door is classic, but I
Yeah.
feel like like I remember reading about Ozone and then finding it at one of the video stores. This is in the I was still in high school, I think because they came out 93, 94. So I graduated in 94. I would be remiss if I did not mention because we I think last time we're going to talk on this and we again Mother Nature cut us off. But Midnight Magazine. I wanted to make sure we discussed some of your work with them and that way we
Yeah,
covered
yeah,
your
no, I
stuff.
appreciate you asking. I don't have the issue right in front of me. I did, but there is a cool Evil 1% full page ad in that with the Japanese artwork. And yeah, new issue of Evil 1% or excuse me, new issue of Midnight Magazine just came out. And
Mm.
everybody can get Midnight Magazine. I write for the magazine, but there's a lot of cool writers in the magazine. And it is a horror magazine made for people who love horror, and it's made by people just like who love horror for people who love horror, and so
Mhm.
it's just really legit. It's just awesome. It's one of my favorite magazines. Same with Grindhouse Resurrection, but Midnight Magazine, if anybody wants an issue, you can hit up Mr. Fright, Mr. Fright, Fright, or Midnight Magazine at Big Cartel. There is no Midnight Magazine IG, just Mr. Fright. But yeah, you can get it there. And then for other back issues, you can get a hold of me at Independent American Pictures on IG or Independent American Pictures at gmail.com. And once again, too, I want to keep stressing this until we get out. Everybody, we need your help on the Indiegogo. It's really weird because like I was talking to Jim Van Bever about this. I don't like asking people for money. It's just one of those things. And I just like putting my money in my mouth and
Mhm.
my stuff where my mouth is. You know what I mean? I'm one of those people. And
Mhm.
but what I was gonna say is like film is just not one person. It's one person's vision, but you need a whole team. And what I was gonna say is like for the Indiegogo, we're gonna have a lot of cool perks. Let me go through a couple of the perks real quick. So we had a lunch meet put out. Let us in. It sold out right away. There was only 50 copies. They were going to do 75 or 100, but I just wanted to be real small. But they did like 30 black or 30 red lettuce in VHS and then 20 black. But
Mhm.
like the red sold out right away and people were like really pissed and wanted them. And so there's a long list of people that want them. So I am going to have lettuce in signed lunch meat VHS in the Indiegogo. I am going to have Evil 1%. I can't say what they are, if they're going to be purple. They might be. But I'm going to have cool Evil 1% Japanese VHS
Cool.
only for the Indiegogo. So if you get that VHS, like there's not going to be that VHS when the movie comes out. Then also too, like a guy in the last movie, multiple people did, but a guy in the last Let Us In, he bought the vest that I wore. It was a vintage biker vest with real World War II patches on there. The patches that I had custom made, like that are old 60s biker patches that I had reconditioned, refurbished, they recreated,
Mhm.
excuse me. So
Mhm.
he bought that for $1,000. So listen what I'm getting at.
Wow.
For $1,000. I could
That's
like,
cool.
I'm not gonna say how much certain things cost, but certain kills were done in that movie for that money that he did. So it's funny. I posted it, go on Independent American Pictures IG. Go
Yes.
look at it yesterday. You can see the vest.
I saw it. I actually was
Did you
gonna
see
ask
that?
about that. Yes, I did. That was cool.
Oh, and then dig this. Like, go look at the stories, and then they have like your starred stories on
Yeah.
IG. Go
Yeah.
look at the starred story of the African American actor Kevin MSV Tates and Let Us In. It's his head, but if you click on it, it's the dude who just bought the head, and he's like holding it, and he opens the head, and you can see the inside, the throat,
Ah.
and everything. So what I was gonna say is that yeah, we're gonna have a lot of cool props from VHS to
Oh,
patches
cool.
that we wear to the rockers and the cuts in the back.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a bunch of cool stuff, autograph posters, just one of a kind perks, and then also, I design and make all the stuff. Look at this old '60s Hot Wheel.
Yeah.
Krager Wheel has an independent American right here. It says support films made in Detroit. Then on the back, it's got the IP on the back.
I love your logo, dude. It's so
Thank you
Corman.
so much.
It's so Corman. It's great. When I first saw it, I was like, was he going for an AIP thing? He had to be. He had to be.
Hell yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so this episode, this interview we're recording, I'm gonna drop it on Friday. And we're recording this on Tuesday, so that'll be like what's Friday, the 23rd, right? 20, I don't know, what is it? Something like that. 22nd, I don't know, whatever. Today's the 20th.
So the Indie,
The
let's
20,
cut you off. The Indiegogo will be up
we'll be
by
live
next
by
Monday
the
or
time
Tuesday.
people are seeing this. Okay, cool. So I'll put a link. So what I'll do is whenever the Indiegogo goes live, just make sure you send me the link and I'll make sure it gets put in the description of this. Even if this video's gone out at that point, I'll add it. Just let me know, and that way I can add it directly to the description of the video.
Cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm going to send you that.
Absolutely, dude.
And I do want to say something else too. One last thing, and we'll end this. I wasn't gonna. I'll give you something, a little golden nugget here, because you've been so good to me, man.
I
So
appreciate
you
it.
heard it first on the Mom and Pop Show, but IEP releases our movies, okay?
Mhm.
But we actually are about to release something that took us 20 years to do, and it is. I'll give a little hint. It's a 1960s counterculture project. It's 4 hours long,
Wow.
and it is one of the most involved projects I've ever done. And since September, when I got the green light to do it, I just didn't sleep since September. And so at night, instead of sleeping, I did this on top of the even 1%. So I'm gonna show you right when we hang up, okay?
Okay.
But we have a new VHS that we're about to drop in the next 2 weeks, and it is
Cool.
very, very limited. It comes with a huge 1960s button. It comes with 5 VHS stickers that were only made for that release, that were time
Mhm.
period correct. The
Mhm.
release is almost 4 hours long. It is a Detroit eccentric release. I cannot say what it is,
Okay.
but it is one of the most sought after films that no one has seen. It's never been on VHS, and it is a Detroit thing. And then
All right, cool.
also, I just want to say this: it comes with a literature and photo booklet that
Nice.
Rebecca and I did, and it was from our source material.
All
And
right, very cool.
I'll give a little hint too. The person from the project, from the legendary project, just died a couple days ago. So if anybody can put that stuff, and he was a
Okay.
Detroit legend. So yeah, so
Okay.
IP, we have more than just the Indiegogo. We have more than just the toys, the shirts, and even 1%. We got a really cool release. I am not allowed to mention it until it just drops. So get a hold
Cool.
of me if
Oh,
you want.
that's awesome, man. All right. Well, first off, thank you, my friend, for doing this again. I really appreciate it. I will plan on supporting Evil 1%. I'm saying it here. You got me recorded saying I'm supporting it, not just verbally, but actually monetarily.
I want to
Um,
record you saying it too. I want you to buy this release rate when we hang up.
oh
Man,
yeah,
I'm telling you.
I'm
Oh,
looking forward to see what it is.
yo, you're
And
gonna love it. I will say one other thing too, and I
okay,
just want to say
okay.
this one thing. I always think about this with foresight. It's not about money, but about collectability and like
Hmm.
things, blah blah blah. But the way we release this, I believe that. Well, I already know once the tapes get released, they're already and what they come with, they're already worth 3-4 times their value. So
Yeah, that's
we
cool.
made it affordable. The book, all the stickers, the photo thing, and everything. It's $40, and it comes with a slipcover VHS, and it comes on any color you can choose from of these colors. We have weed green, cocaine white, orange, sunshine
Uh,
acid, yellow
uh-huh.
sunshine acid, and then we have blood red and blue bliss. So those are the
Yeah,
colors that you can choose for this
yeah.
VHS.
Especially for a teetotaler such as myself, I kind of love that. I will be ordering one of the drug related.
Yeah, it goes with when you find out what it is.
Oh, I'm
It
sure.
goes
Yeah,
with it. It's so cute. It's
cool.
so cute. It's so
That's
cute.
cool. That's cool, man. All right, so definitely check out Tony's Indiegogo for Evil 1%. Check out his eBay store, and again, we'll have the links in the description below and all that good stuff. But again, the one and only Tony Moran. Thank you for being on the Mom and Pop Video Shop.